stop aimlessly posting on social media. I hear you say that goes against everything you've been telling me to do since episode number 1, Gary. Well, there's a little bit of reason why, and there's a little bit of context to that, because social media content marketing has massively changed in the 2020s compared to the 2010s. In the 2010s, when I started using social media on 2016, there was hardly any financial services advisors on socials. I want to say I was one of the pioneers to getting into doing video, producing content out there online. But now there's loads of you. All of you are doing it. There's video, there's TikToks, there's Reels, there's Instagrams. There's now even the audio format of podcasts and Clubhouse. And here's the thing, in 2010s, nobody had 5,000 friends, or not a lot of people had 5,000 friends. Very few people had podcasts. We were building our profiles. We were communicating. We were leveraging Facebook groups. And now, 5 years on, in the 2020s, everybody's got 5,000 friends. Everybody's been hanging around in Facebooks. The algorithms have massively changed, and they have now been moved into the advantage of advertisers. If you are a business that is paying to get engagement, paying to get likes, paying to get subscriptions, paying for leads, paying for downloads, then you're going to get more results than someone who's doing it organically. Now, I'll caveat that and say there are some social media channels at the present time that are better for organic reach than paid reach. And I do still believe that you must have an organic social media content marketing strategy for making sure that your paid ads are actually worthwhile. Because there's no point in putting money behind shit content. You need to have an understanding that people want to engage with your content, that you're producing content that your audience wants to see and they like. But if you're not running ads at the present time, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. Now, the likes of LinkedIn, the likes of TikTok have still got great organic reach. But here's the problem with those channels and with social media now. The noise is massive. The overwhelm of the audience is ginormous. There is so much information. There is so much content. There is stuff out there online every minute of every hour of every day that just goes, my mind is blown. I don't know what to watch, read, or listen. And that's because the feeds are getting so fast. There's rooms running on Clubhouse every minute of every single day. There's videos going out online. There's your feed on Instagram. There's your stories on Instagram. There's the Reels. There's now the umpteen amount of live videos. What do you watch, read, or listen to? But we've been observing over the last few months a golden nugget strategy that I'm going to share with you that will enhance your content marketing, will drive more of your ideal client to you, and will make sure that you are not wasting your time on social media, but instead maximizing your leads, inquiries, and sales. Because it's still possible to attract your ideal client. It's still possible to bring your ideal client to you every minute of every hour of every single day, providing you adapt, you pivot, you change, and you think about it as a two-stage process. Because what you really, really need right now is evergreen content. Social media feeds, as I mentioned, are already so fast. Content is there 1 minute and gone the next. Just look at Twitter as a massive example. Twitter, the problem is you have to post 15, 20 times a day. The feed is like a sprinter. The Facebook post, the LinkedIn post, they have a 4 to 5 hour time limit and reach. So what do? Yes, you can start repurposing the same content every 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Yes, you could start with a piece of content every single day. And then in 3 months' time, you could go back through and say to myself, these ones have done really well. I'm going to reuse them because I've now got new audience, and that new audience is going to be able to see it. But the problem is, as I mentioned, if you're not using ads, you're not getting massive results on social media. And I didn't use ads until 2020. I spent 16, 17, 18, 19 with no ads at all. But if you want to grow and scale your business, if you want to generate more ideal clients, if you want to stand out, imagine standing in a room and shouting with everybody else around you. All of a sudden, if you stand on a podium, what happens? You've got more opportunity because you're more seen. That's what ads do to your business. But here's the thing, two-prong approach. You must have evergreen content. You must have content that is people are able to watch, read, and listen to, and that they are actually searching for. 9 times out of 10, someone is not on Facebook searching for your content. 9 times out of 10, someone is not on TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram searching for your content. They're on social media and they're engaging in social media, and your message hits them at a time when it is likely to get results. I've always played the omnipresence game, and like me, you just want to be there. When someone has that letter that comes through the door, when they think I need that product or service, you're the first person they think of. But the feeds are too fast now. The noise is too fast now. So you must be looking at searchable content. You must be looking at having a foundation of weekly video, podcast, or written blog content. If you don't have that foundational principle, nobody is going to be finding your content in 3, 6, 9, 12 months. You're going to constantly be busy producing content all the time. Here's a perfect example of exactly what we do in my team to keep my voice, to leverage my time, and to make sure that we continually generate leads and we work smarter, not harder. Right now, I'm doing this as a live video onto Facebook via StreamYard that will be then repurposed onto YouTube. My team will then rip the audio. They will edit out all the ums, and they'll do this for YouTube. They'll edit out all the ums. They'll edit out all the other little bits and bobs, and they will put that up as a podcast episode. I don't know when. I leave that to my team. They will then transcribe this audio, and a member of my team will then write it into better language for reading. And we have got the Facebook Live, the podcast audio, and the blog. And off of the back of those 3 elements of content, we have searchable content every single week, every single day. And then what we do is we use our social media content to drive people to the watch, read, or the listen, the YouTube, the podcast, or the blog. And what happens? You build a deeper connection. You utilize the short form content, the 15-second reel, the 60-second TikTok, the 1-minute Instagram video, the carousel, to sell why somebody should go and watch, read, or listen to your long form content. Now what you've done is taken your social media audience and you've moved them into an evergreen strategy. And then what the evergreen strategy does is that moves them into your database. That moves them into submitting an inquiry. That deepens the connection and builds a further relationship with you. That is how you make sure you have an abundance of leads. That's how you build a future-proof business that's going to be able to start, grow, and scale beyond your current capabilities. If all you are doing is using a social media strategy, you are on a downward slope to failure because the game has changed. Everything I've been talking about is massively still relevant. We still utilize everything on all my previous podcast episodes that I talk about. But if you don't pivot and change into being omnipresent, in producing consistent evergreen content, pillar content, as I like to call it, pillar piece of content gets repurposed into your entire week's worth of content. If you don't have that strategy, you are risking failure. You are risking your business being obliterated by someone else who starts it. And here's the thing, I'm teaching my mentees how to do this. My latest program that's been running for a number of weeks now is showing people how to do this in their own business, how to dominate local SEO, how to produce a podcast that resonates with your audience, how to grow your YouTube channel. You don't need hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You just need an engaged audience of ideal clients. Going back to Kevin Kelly, if you have 1,000 true fans who buy everything that you sell for £1,000, what have you got? £1 million business. Then you get the referrals, the recommendations. Then you have something that actually means something and you're solving a common problem. And there's a process to making that work. There's a process to making sure that actually the evergreen and the social media work together. If you don't do the foundational steps, then the strategy is never, ever going to work, because a generalist in today's world as well is also going to risk failure. You have to be specific. You have to have a niche. That doesn't mean a job title. There's multiple different ways in which you can have a niche in a specific area. But if you don't go deep on understanding your ideal client, on understanding exactly how you can best serve your audience, the customers who are going to know, love, and trust you to look after their financial requirements over the next few years, not just now, but also in the future. You're never going to increase your customer sale value, and you're never going to increase your customer lifetime value. And you're always going to be overwhelmed. You're always going to be stressed out. You're always going to be frustrated, because you're going to be working really hard rather than really smart. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in to this week's episode of live video, YouTube video, and podcast, leveraging time. I practice what I preach, and I teach what I practice. I'd love to welcome you into one of my programs. I'd love for you to come and comment, connect, message me on Instagram, ask me for my 30-30 formula, which we'll put a link in the show notes too, where you can get 30 inspiration ideas to produce content in the future to make sure that you identify who your ideal client is and that you attract them to you. If you have any queries, questions, or concerns around attracting your ideal clients, systemizing and improving your business processes, building high-performing teams, making more sales, increasing profit, it's exactly what I do in helping financial services advisors to start, grow, and scale their business without having to figure it all out on their own, with the outcome of wanting to do more of what you love with who you love. That's the ideal scenario. More time, more freedom, more autonomy to do what you want with who you want when you want. Have a fantastic day. Remember, now's the time to become pro.